For a while, I've wanted a new way to interact with my Hot Wheels. I've got them all displayed on my wall and they look really cool, but I feel like I actually never get to touch them on my day-to-day basis. And so I came up with the idea to do a key holding garage that would allow me to put my Hot Wheels inside of a wall-mounted garage. When I hung up the keys, the door would open, and when I took the keys off, the door would close. Similar to my other projects, I used Fusion 360 to do the 3D modeling, and then 3D printed the parts. This video will go through my process of assembling the garages and then getting them hung up on the wall and some cars inside. The garage consists of 5 main parts: the garage itself, the door, the 2-part hook, and a piece of foam. I also use some hardware including heat set inserts, M3 bolts, and some command strips. As for tools, I'll be using my drill, a 1/4-inch ream bit, a countersink bit, a few Allen keys, and a soldering iron. Getting started with the assembly, I used my 1/4-inch ream bit to drill out the holes in the side of the garage. These would be for the heads of the M3 bolts. I then grabbed my countersink bit and deburred the edges. I added in this raised edge that would allow me to have a ruler for installing my foam base. The key to this foam base is that it actually keeps the cars from moving when you put your keys on and off of the hook. Next, I grabbed the door and inserted 2 M3 heat set inserts that would eventually turn into the pivot points for the door to actually rotate and open and close. I then did the same for the post of the key hook, which would allow me to use a bolt to connect the post to the tip of the hook. I used my Allen key to install this flathead M3. Once the key hook assembly was installed in the garage, I was then able to slide it up and down to make sure things were working smoothly. I then brought back the door for installation, and I did this by using an Allen key to bolt in 2 larger head profile M3 bolts into the holes that I had previously drilled out. And just like that, the garage assembly is complete and is ready to get prepped for wall installation. I tried to avoid drilling in my apartment as much as possible, and this project was the great opportunity to use some command strips. And so here I am installing 2 strips that can each hold 3 pounds. Now off of the table, I was able to peel back the wall side of the command strips and get the garage leveled out and set up on the wall. After a few more checks to make sure the garage was opening and closing as I intended, I went ahead and grabbed my C63 Hot Wheels and dropped it in the garage. I wanted this garage to fit every car in my collection, from my super long Dodge Daytona to the taller Toyota 4Runners. This way, whenever I felt like it, I could swap out the cars as I wanted to. Once all the geometry was locked, I started printing the garages in a few different colors like beige and blue. Last but not least, I decided to share this garage with the greater Hot Wheels community by putting it up on my Etsy store, and have gotten some pretty good feedback since. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Another how-to build from Moto. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me build next.